about 4:30 in the morning, to believe. I'm at Roma Street in Brisbane, and this train goes at 4:55. What an absurd time to go. Anyway, I'm in car A, which is a sleeping car on the way up here, and it's a first class seat if required on the way back, and I'm about to board that now. Now, surprisingly, there are a few people here. At this time of day, people, including myself, have to get up quite typically at 3 o'clock or so in the morning to get this train. Now, I'm outside the sleeper and I'm going to be sitting in that compartment in a matter of a couple of minutes.
Now, heading towards the New South Wales-Queensland border. This is, I just passed through Glenap. You can just see the train, barely see the train with a bit of reflection there. And it's a beautiful country here. Mist all around the mountains there, and beautiful and green. We're going to go over the spiral, the border loop, after a little while, and it's just a pleasant ride along here. The kind of tracks you see out there in those little hills, it's like mountain goats could go on. There's a little roadway up in the hill, for example. I don't know what that. It's like a little track in the hill. Well, it is daylight, but it's very misty, it's overcast, and we're into New South Wales now. And I'll just show you a little bit about the compartment, because other people have asked me. This is actually daytime use, of course, and just having a bit of a quick look. The bed is up, of course, ready for nighttime use, and there are wardrobes, and this is an interesting design. There's a door here into the passage, and by the way, I'd suggest I might be the only passenger in this car. There's another cabin, backward facing. I've got forward facing, and the interesting thing here is in between the cabins is a toilet, wash basin and shower. So you've got that up there. And there we are, the door's shut on me, but that's okay. There we go, how's that? Bang. Back in the compartment. Sorry, it's a little rough walking around in here. Back into there. And lush and green here, really like a rainforest, and kind of reminds you perhaps a little bit of the things you might see in places like Scotland or in Wales or whatever. It's quite nice, rich and green. So anyway, I'll take a little more along the way. Now, by the way, there's that little road there. Now, for people, tourists and rail enthusiasts perhaps might be visiting, may have access to a car. That's called the Lions Road. look it up. It runs almost parallel to the railway most of the way. Through the border ranges and down here through Coyle. Now Coyle, about 80 years ago, was the end of a branch line from Casino. And in 1932 the line was extended to Brisbane through the border loop and 7 tunnels or so up to Queensland. Prior to that, people would travel via the inland route, which was Wallangarra. They get off the train at Wallangarra. It was standard gauge, and they get on the narrow gauge there and travel most of the day and get into Brisbane in the afternoon. Quite a long journey in those days, and they put the main line in, but it's never fast. There's no fast trains in Australia. This looks like a British HST 125, in other words, this train, but it looks so deceiving. It only does high speed for about, or relative high speed for about 5% of its journey. We're coming up to another tunnel. It's about the 8th tunnel we've come to. Just need to correct myself a little bit there. That was not a tunnel there. We had 7 tunnels, and that was quite a deep cutting, and I thought we were going into another one. And as I say, very shortly we'll be going through Coyle, and it's very deceptive. The station is some distance away from the town, and the town, I'm not sure, but has a reasonably good sized population. But as the station is so far away, not that many people come down and use the train, obviously. And it's only a conditional stop, a flag stop. So we have several of those on the journey, and this is one of them. Well, we're approaching the town of Coyle. It is closer than I thought to the railway station. I understood there's a bit of a distance away. So here we are. Only one stop, one car is to be on the platform, very short platform. It's obviously making a stop at any moment. And here's the town. Really good sized town, actually. I don't know what the population would be. Right, we're making the stop. Here we go. There's only a little platform. Here we go. Oh, there's a few people got off the train. Coyle. There you go. That's a Coyle cinema. I wonder if that's still operating. It might be. Yeah. So the next town is Casino. Incidentally, that spelling with a single S is rather unusual, because it obviously is named after the town of Casino in Italy, but it had a double S. But in New South Wales, it's got a single S. Approaching Casino. And this was the junction for the line to Moolumbar until the 1990s. And there was an announcement, there is a bus actually, which for many people would say they're heading in the wrong direction, but they head across to, and there's the junction, by the way, I think. Yeah, here we go. It's not much of it left. It's still in place, by the way. The Moolumbar branch is abandoned and yet largely still in place. I was about to say, it goes to Tweed Heads, but it goes via Byron Bay. And people actually get off here and they want to go to Lismore and to a certain degree, I guess, Byron Bay. So instead of coming down through the Gold Coast on the bus, they come down here to Casino. There's the coach right there. So there's several of them there. Only one of them would be doing that particular route. The others come in here to connect with this train towards Sydney. Coach driving past the train at Grafton Station. You'll believe it's coming back. There it is again. Well, the train is approaching Urunga, and there's been a lot of rain around here, a lot of water laying around. The grass is really green though. So anyway, very shortly coming into Urunga, and then we've got Nambucca Heads. So you're seemingly coming into the town, I think, at any moment now. There's the town. A bit difficult with the reflections too on the window. Anyway, doing my best. Well, look at my mess in here, will you? I got my bags, I got my shoes, I've got everything in here in this compartment, but it's a luxury. All to myself on this. And I'll just swing around slowly and we have a look outside, and a bit of bush. The old Aussie bush is out there now, heading towards Nambucca Heads. Train's just arriving in Nambucca Heads. Radio, we're just departing Nambucca Heads now. My mate Kerry Whitfield lives here. A bit of reflection on the windows, guys, but I can't do much, or anything, shall I say, about that. It's not him. I thought he might have. No, he hasn't come by. Well, anyway, nice station. Nice trees and things around the station, and the gardens and what have you. So, unfortunately though, it's not close to the town. Just departing Wauhope. There's bus service, taxis and what have you to Port Macquarie from here. Port Macquarie is very market expensive, whereas Wauhope, if you wanted to stop over in the region, is quite affordable apparently. Still occasional rain today. It's been pretty pretty wet along the way, but it's been a good trip. looking into car B towards the front of the train. First class. The next is car C, which has got the buffet in it. Through the rain on the window, a few seconds. There's the river. That's the Manning River, I think. So, going through some lovely country, but I won't take much because, as I said, drops of rain all over the window. Anyway, nice to look out and see this, huh? We're heading towards Gloucester. Very steep hills, green hills here, and only sheep or mountain goats could go up those hills. And just a quick look around the compartment. There we go, and looking over to the mountain ranges in the background. Just departing Gloucester. There we are. Is the northbound XPT departing Maitland for Casino. We're in the platform and we should be gone about now. There we go, we're moving. Maitland has had a couple of horrendous floods over the years, over many years of course. And a coal train is coming past us on the right hand side of us. This is multiple track, it's 4 tracks here. Towards Newcastle. And there's a station sign, the old station sign. Right. And this is very much a coal region. Here's Hunter Valley, and if we gradually look around, we can see that coal train. We're paralleling it. Look at that. We come around, we see tractor machines on the other side, and starting to move out on the main line. And no doubt we're gathering some speed. Heading along quickly, and there's a coal train going in towards the coal loaders at Carrington, I'd say. Anyway, we're just scooting along here. Just going over, coming off the flyover. Sorry about the reflections on the window there. I can't do much with it. And might see rail cars coming from Newcastle or Hexham, or what do you call it? Interchange. Is it the Newcastle interchange? Which is at Wickham. Went blank on that for a moment, but that's where it is. Now, going so fast here that Talara, is that right? No, I can't remember. Not Talara. What am I talking about? We're going pretty fast, in other words. Really, for my overseas friends, and particularly.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Train will shortly arrive at
Broadmeadow. Yeah.
Passengers booked to leave the service at Broadmeadow. We ask you to be ready to do so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please ensure that you have all your personal belongings with you and be aware of the gap between the train and the platform.
There's the line towards Newcastle.
Thank you.
Around the triangle here, coming into Broadmeadow. My overseas friends, as I was in the middle of saying, these trains look like a HST 125. That's as far as it goes, in other words. They go at relative high speed for about 5% of their journey, would you believe that? So in other words, they're hitting 150, 160 for bits of the journey. And now we're coming into Broadmeadow. Now, before anyone jumps on me over this, I was incorrect about that last junction. That would be to one of the Coyles. This is the actual junction electrified, coming in here from Newcastle interchange at Wickham. It's 1500 volts. DC overhead on standard gauge. And the disgusting thing, you might say, is there's all this graffiti and nonsense around the place. Everything's vandalised. Coming in right now. At Broadmeadow station.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Those persons that have pre-ordered a hot meal for dinner, your meals are hot and ready for collection from the buffet car. If you've been issued with the white cardboard carrier tray, can you please reuse this tray when coming to the buffet? If you wish to complement your meals, we do have available Australian red and white wine.
Arriving at Fassifern. This used to be the junction for the line to Toronto. That's Toronto, New South Wales, not Toronto, Canberra. Making a stop here. Now departed Gosford. And this is called Brisbane Water. Nothing to do with Brisbane the city, but Brisbane Water. heading around towards the Hawkesbury River Bridge, which is one of the best known bridges around Sydney. You notice these pylons. These are from the original bridge, which actually had a whole lot of problems with it and eventually had to be demolished and replaced. It's the one we're on right now. Just coming through a little station called Hawkesbury River, and the town is actually called Brooklyn. Not in New York, but in New South Wales. It's the Hornsby car sightings. Well, it's getting towards dark anyway, and we'll make a stop here at Hornsby in the station, and then the next stop is Strathfield, where I'll get off. We've arrived at the station at Hornsby. Alright, okay, it's just leaving Hornsby right now, and I'm just about at my destination in a matter of 20 minutes. And the journey will be over from Sydney, from Brisbane to Sydney, and I'll get off at Strathfield, which is a suburb, only about 12 minutes running time from Strathfield.
Well, I've arrived at Strathfield. There's my mate John Macaroni. I'm about to film this train going and heading off towards Sydney Terminal. Running on time, virtually on time, so there we go with it. Should go. Of course, if this was in Japan or Switzerland, the train would be well gone by now. Still waiting. There we go. Okay.